What up? What up? What up, internet? Who you are, where you be, where you at, and what you see is Pop Cult Parent, your favorite podcast that talks about life, pop culture, and everything in between. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Festive Festus Among Us, and Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrated in a solemn Ramadan to you. Hey, it's that time of the year. We're talking about Christmas movies, our favorite Christmas time pastimes. I'm one of your hosts, Mark M.F. Jones, and I'm joined by
This is Niels RY, aka come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
Yeah, yeah. And if you haven't
Happy
figured it out,
holidays. Happy holidays, Pop
happy
Cult.
holidays, man. If y'all haven't figured out, we're talking about maybe, maybe not only the greatest action movie ever made, but the greatest Christmas movie ever made.
Oh, brother, there's a few categories. This is one of the greatest of. I think there's at least two more, but we can talk about that.
Okay, okay. Hey, we're talking about the myth, the legend, the greatest, the GOAT, Die Hard. The film that came out, what, 1987?
1988.
88, 88.
Mm,
It has been debated and hey, is this a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie? Hey, what it is, look, it's a Christmas movie.
it's
It's
Christmas, man.
Christmas. We both have
Yeah.
established in past podcasts that we cannot go through the Christmas season time of year without watching Die Hard. So we're like, let's talk about our favorite movie, our favorite Christmas movie. And hey, we're gonna get into it. Nels, you got a little bit of history for us or some fun facts. So like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn it over to you, dog.
And before I jump in, Mark, I gotta say it's actually impressive. Pop Cult Parent has been around for about over 5 years. The fact that we have never done Die Hard, we've mentioned Die Hard many a times. We've quoted Die Hard
Yeah,
several times, but we've never done a Die Hard episode. And I say that is amazing that we've
it,
gone that many years doing this podcast and not
it's
doing
long
Die Hard.
overdue. Long
Long
overdue, my
overdue.
friend.
Hey, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. So, a bit about Die Hard. Die Hard came out in 1988. It was directed by John McTiernan. That name might sound familiar because the brother also did Predator. And he did, I want to say, what was it? The Sean Connery, Hunt for Red October. So
Bangers.
yeah, the man got some hits. He got some hits. But Die Hard stars Bruce Willis, of course, the legend Alan Rickman, rest in peace. And to tie it in a bow, Carl Winslow,
Yeah.
aka Reginald Vell Johnson.
Yeah. Yo, hold up. I love
Yes.
respect. Yo, man, respect. You're like, and starring Reginald
Yes.
because
Yes.
any other podcast like starring Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman and maybe even Bonnie was it Bedell
Yeah.
or
Yes.
but you're
Uh-huh.
like no also starring Carl Winslow. Mad
Carl
respect.
Winslow. Give respect to Carl Winslow. All right. The budget was $35 million. Mark, this movie made $141 million on
Whew,
a $35 million budget.
bruh.
And they're still making money because we're still watching Die Hard on a regular basis.
Mm.
So this movie had four sequels. And like Mark said, this is arguably considered the greatest action movie of all time. Mark, I'm good. And so, like in 1988, with $141 million, it was the highest grossing action movie back in 88. It's important to note that this was the highest grossing action movie in 88. But action movies in the 80s were Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone,
Hmm.
like Steven Seagal, I know, Chuck Norris. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Clint Eastwood still had one or two action movies like that. Bruce Willis was not on the list
Nope.
of action movie folks. They had a list of folks who are like go-to. They come in, they're gonna make $80 million from the jump just because they're in there. Like Sly was
We're gonna
making 80 million from the jump.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
we're gonna give him an AK-47 and a tank top. We're gonna call it a
And we will
day.
make money. We will make a profit. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Willis was a TV show star. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, it was TV or movie. They
Yeah.
did not translate in executives' minds. So like they were like, put this guy in. Sly said no. Arnold said no. I'm sure 20 other people said no. And then they got Bruce Willis to
Yeah,
do this movie. And it became the highest grossing action movie in 88. And it is considered the greatest action movie of all
yeah.
time.
The director to get on this because yeah, Bruce Willis. I want to talk about a couple things you said. Like
Yeah.
Bruce Willis was like I think he was like third, fourth choice. The director said when the trailer debuted, people laughed because it's like they saw. I don't know what TV show Bruce Willis was on, but they're like, why
I
is
think
this
it's
guy?
Moonlighters, something like that.
Yeah, they're like,
Hmm.
what?
Sybil
They,
Shepherd.
why is this guy in a action movie? Like people just like laughed at it, and that's just to put you in that headspace. I don't know. It's a very different time now. You know, I think the closest thing we could maybe our audience can compare to is when Will Smith jumped to Bad Boys,
Hmm.
when Will and Martin.
I actually think probably the closest one is what's the guy's name from Parks and Rec who is in
That's
Guardians of the
yes.
Galaxy?
I was gonna say Peter. That's what his name is. Chris. Oh my God, he's in everything. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. That's
Yes.
exactly what that's the Chris Pratt story.
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
Pratt, known for being a funny guy in a
Hmm.
TV show, was funny guys in movies, and all of a sudden he's like the top five action stars in
Riding,
Hollywood. You know what I'm
riding
saying?
on, riding around with raptors and flying spaceships. It's a it's a crazy world. But yeah, so Bruce Willis wasn't the first choice, and I lost my train of thought. The studio did not have a lot of faith in this, and oh man, I was gonna make another point about Bruce Willis. I'm sorry, I lost it.
Was it
But
about the fact that the poster only had like back when this movie came out, the poster was Nakatomi Plaza. They did
yeah,
not have
yeah,
Bruce Willis
yeah.
on the poster or
The
on anything.
building,
It was
the
it was the
starring the
star,
building.
Nakatomi Plaza. So anytime anyone like hears me talk about Die Hard, the first thing I say is Nakatomi Plaza
Nakatomi.
because that was the star of the movie.
No, hey, you
Like
gotta
when
be a
they
good sport for the building, and it's not even like I can understand. It's like, hey, you're in White House down. We're gonna put the White House on the cover, or like Independence Day. Yo,
yeah,
Will, instead of putting you, we're gonna put the White House exploding on the cover. Well, I get okay, all right.
I
It's
get
the
it.
White House.
It's the White
It's
House.
like
I get it.
building this random tower in LA.
Random tire LA. They're like, that's the star. That's the star. Put that right there. They had no faith in Bruce Willis, yo. They
But
had no faith.
you help. So this is what I was gonna say. This helped change the perspective of what an action star could be. Before that, like you said, it was like Stallone, Seagal, Arnold. It was like
Hmm.
big dudes. Yeah, I talk to you later. I don't know.
Hmm.
Nice hat. You know,
Jean-Claude, you know what I'm
Jean Claude. It
saying?
was like
Yep.
very like buff dudes beating people up, larger than life, not not failing at being an action star. John McClane is just a dude. He's just like, and that's what all the Die Hard movies try to be. He's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Even Bruce Willis, like he's got receding hairline. He's not like buff. He's not like fat or anything. But he's not like a buff ripped dude, and he's a failure. Like he fails constantly in this movie. Nails the first 30 minutes of going down he's just trying to get help. He's like, hey, police,
Help me.
help me.
Help me. It's scary in here.
It's like, oh no, the stuff starts going down. He's like, oh, they got machine guns. Oh, time to go
No.
get help.
No. Yo, low key, the start of this movie is him running away.
Yes,
It's running away. He was like, oh no, they're taking over the plaza. There's an exit sign. I am
exit.
leaving.
Let me get to safety.
Let me go. His wife got captured. He's like, ah,
I can't do.
gotta
I'm not
go.
gonna be a use. I'm not gonna be any use to her in there.
Gotta go. I don't want these problems. Yeah, I completely agree. But Mark, I gotta say, I don't hang with us, y'all, for this episode. This is Die Hard. I want to name a couple of things. I think where I would love to start is just defending the fact that this is a Christmas movie. So I'll first name a big thing, which is this is one of the greatest action movies of all time. I think it is the greatest action movie of all time. This is one of the best Christmas movies. We're about to go into why this is why this is a Christmas movie, and it is one of the best Christmas movies. But Mark, I have two more things to say about Die Hard. Die Hard is an amazing rom-com. This is
Ooh, go
absolutely a
on.
rom-com. Mark, if you take away the guns, this is a romantic comedy.
You know, I don't okay. I don't want to lose your train of thought. Please hold
Okay.
on to it, but I want to ask you something. If you watching the first like 15, 20 minutes of this movie, it's so funny you said that. It does not come off like this is an action movie. It comes off like it's going to be some type of like you said rom-com or just like dramedy because nothing really is going down. Like John, they show his ring. Him and Holly have a fight. It's like any other action movie. Like this is action. Here's the title card. Da, 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 da. It's just like Die Hard, and then you see John's ring, and he's like talking. And that's so funny you said that because I was like, I never really noticed that. It's like the first 20, 30 minutes don't play like an action movie.
No, no. And I honestly, this is one of the reasons why it's the greatest action movie ever, is because it has a lot of heart. It's funny. Like there's just so much going into it. But the reason I say this is a rom-com is, well, take away Hans Gruber. Well, no, no, no. Take away the guns. Just take away the guns. Keep Hans
Yeah.
Gruber. Take away the guns. You have a estranged husband coming from New York to come back and win his family back. He goes into the holiday party to surprise his wife, and chaos ensues. Right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he's an out of place cop, who has to show up and save the day so his wife can keep her job. And at the end, and he does. And at the end, and there's this sleazy guy who does cocaine on his wife's desk, blah, blah,
Oh
blah.
my gosh,
And
dude.
at the end, he reunites. She calls herself Mrs. McLean. And then they ride off in a limo with the hilarious black side character.
Yeah.
That's a rom com. That's an 80s rom com, Mark.
Yeah.
What
Oh
what
yeah.
did I say
Yeah.
that was not a rom
No,
com
that
in the
is
80s?
especially the black side character. Like,
Yes,
hey, John, you got the girl. Do 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 do. Definitely, that's a rom com. You
it's a
got your
rom com.
black sidekick. You got your little like turmoil, and you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
So so it's a rom-com, and it is one of the best. It just has a lot of action in it.
A lot of
And then
action in
the
between.
last category is, Mark, this is just a great movie. This is
Yeah.
one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yes, we can call it an action movie. Yes, we can call it all these things, but I don't care. Die Hard is one of the best movies ever, ever.
It is. It is. Like I've seen this movie so many times, but like I've watched it as like a fan, right? So when I watched it, I try to like I try to on this podcast, I try to be as objective as possible. I try not to let my nostalgia, you know, dictate how good a movie is.
Yeah.
Dude, when I watched this and I was watching with a critical eye, I'm like, this is fantastic filmmaking. Dog, the first shot is like you get, bro, okay, just before we even get to like anything, John on the plane, right? So first you establish that like this is a guy with flaws. He
Hmm.
he's not a coward, but like he's scared to fly. You show his ring. The dude tells him about the whole feet thing, which is a great way to have him not have his socks on later in the film, right? But then just like riding up Nels, like the continuity of like John leaving the airport, meeting Argyle, the sun is like steadily going down when he gets to the party, and it all flows. So then when like Hans and them get to the party, it's sundown, it's night, and it's just done very well. But then also, I don't know why I never noticed this. So when John gets to the party and Alice is like, show him the Rolex. It's a Rolex, John.
Hmm.
It's a Rolex. I'm trying to f your wife, by the way, but it's a Rolex. You know what I'm saying?
Literally,
And
like I'm on her desk doing cocaine.
yeah, yeah.
What are you doing? What's going on here?
and then and then at the I know jumping ahead, but at the end, when Hans is holding on to Holly, they take off the watch. I was like, yo, how
The,
have I not like
the
put
symbolism. The
the
symbolism
symbolism? The thing holding her from like John
from
helps her
death.
take off the watch. I was like, yo, this movie. Come on. They
They didn't have to do that.
didn't
You
have
know
to
what
do
I'm saying?
that.
But they did. But they did. Because it's one of the greatest movies ever. All
The
right.
best.
Put some respect on Die Hard. I know. What am I talking about? I know people know. I know people love Die Hard. I know people love Die Hard. But you should love it more. It's one of the
Do
best.
more. Do more, America. Do more for
You know what I'm
Die.
saying? Anyway, speaking of Sundown, we're so all over. Speaking of Sundown, I'm sure you remember this, but Theo, who I would say is, I actually think Theo is the villain. Like he's one of the best parts of this movie. Theo
Yeah,
is one
yeah.
of the best parts of this movie. Theo played Sundown, like I think one of the lieutenant colonels in the original Top Gun. And
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and more importantly, outside of his role in Die Hard, he is known as Trevette in Walker, Texas Ranger. He
That's
is
who
Chuck.
Theo
That's
is.
who Theo is.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
Walker's black magical sidekick,
Yes.
who every
Yes.
now and then does a roundhouse kick, but mostly
No,
leaves
hey,
it to
hey, he was
Walker
getting
to do the
down. He
roundhouse.
was
Yeah,
getting down.
later
He
seasons, Trevette was putting in some work. He was
he
putting in
wasn't
some
no
work.
Chuck. He wasn't no Chuck, but he wasn't
You
no
want
punk
Chuck?
either. He wasn't no
You
punk.
want no punk? It would take him two roundhouse kicks to knock
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
out, but Walker one,
Dog.
and it's over. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought up Theo because no, you're right. Like Theo's great. He's so like the whole vault scene and it, so one thing that this movie does well, and they do it a lot with Theo, that we don't really get in action anymore. All the villains have character, and you
yeah.
can just by the little bit of time they have on the screen, you can give them so much backstory. Now, in my mind, my Theo continuity is like Theo is like he's it's the 80s, late 80s, computers are just getting in. Theo is like a UCLA master student who like got kicked out because he hacked into the I don't know the FSA or something, and he's a sports geek and he has a serious sports debt, and Hans found him and it's like I can use this kid. It's just like
Because
there's so
why
much in
else
these
would he be
characters
hanging out with
with all
all
these
these
Germans.
Germans? This dude, Theo is he's too nerdy and he's too cool at the same
Yeah,
time to be
yeah,
hanging out with Germans like that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So yeah,
yeah.
but okay, go
And
ahead,
but
go
I'm gonna
ahead.
say so, and then even like all the henchmen, just like the two that are brothers, and John kills
Yep.
one of the brothers, and then the dude who, when they're ready for the cops to come in, he gets the candy bar.
Oh yeah,
I
the
was like,
Asian
it's
dude.
so much.
Yo, I feel him so much. I would have done the exact same thing.
Hey, it's like all
Like,
this free candy. I'm gonna get
so
me a
look at
candy
all
bar.
this candy. It's like, yo, it's gonna be about 5 minutes before they go through the
Yeah,
door.
I'm gonna get me a
I can
candy
get a
bar.
crunch bar real
I
quick.
might die. I'm about to have me a crunch
This
bar now.
might be it. Let me have a crunch bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, we about to get $640 million. I could take a $5 crunch
Yeah.
bar. You
Hey,
know?
hey. By the way, like RIP to like the 90s and 80s. When's the last time you had a Crunch Bar?
Hey, it's been a while. It's been a
They
while.
still make Crunch Bar?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure
Yeah,
they do.
there's
Dog.
someone out there
That's
killing
like a
Crunch Bars.
go-to movie snack. I'm sure
Yeah.
Crunch Bar paid some money to be the one that he chose to eat in Die Hard. So, and shout out to Nakatomi Plaza for just having snacks in their
Yeah,
lobby. Just
dog. Full Crunch
not
Bars, Milk Duds.
Nakatomi
What you
Plaza
want?
was nice, bruh.
Hey,
It was nice. I
it was
get
a
why they
spot.
put it on the poster. All right, but Mark, Mark, I want to talk about this being a Christmas movie. We don't got to spend a lot of time on it because honestly, it's a Christmas movie. It doesn't need defense. But
Yeah.
part of the reason I'm naming that it is a Christmas movie, if you need like define what Christmas movie is, like however you define it, Die Hard has it. It just so
Hmm.
happens that there's explosions. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But like, if you can name like, oh, well, this is a Christmas movie because the date was like near Christmas, or because there were Christmas decorations, or because there was a Christmas miracle, or because like it was all about family connecting and forgiving each other and so on and so forth. Or there's music, like Die Hard has all that. It has
Hmm.
all of it. I will name a couple of things. Music, the movie started off with Christmas in Hollands. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
It started
Yes.
off with one of the greatest Christmas songs ever, Christmas in Hollands, Queens. So, like music, check. Decorations, check. When John sent Buddy down, like the first person John killed, dude had a Santa hat and the message saying, "I got a machine gun now," and ho ho
Ho
ho.
ho ho.
Can't do that in Easter. Can't do that in the middle of August. You can only really do that during
They're like,
Christmas
what the
time.
hell is wrong with this guy? Why did he say ho? It's
It would have it
it's
would have been really
September.
weird, right? It would have been really real to like weird to do that in Halloween.
It's like
So,
catch him. He needs help. He thinks it's Christmas.
you know what I'm saying? And the and Theo. Theo is the reason that this is a Christmas movie.
Mm,
Constantly, Theo is mentioning Christmas. He's talking about Christmas. He's singing Christmas songs. And last but not
true.
least, the Christmas miracle when Hans is like, "We're getting the FBI here. You worry about these six locks. I'll take care of the last one."
Yep.
And when Theo is like, "I'm ready for the miracle," and the
The Ode to Joy, dog.
yes,
Like I think one of my
there's your
favorite
Christmas
movie
miracle
movies.
right there.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time. Like it's just, and then Theo in the vault like a little kid on Christmas, like getting all the bearer bonds. Oh,
He was so happy.
he's.
He was so happy.
I kind of low key like wish like come on Argyle, you could let the brother escape. Like come on, dog. Like you didn't do nothing the whole movie. You want to let the one brother not get it.
If I'm sure he thought it was a German. I'm sure he didn't take a look when he crashed that car. I'm
Yeah,
sure he would, if he saw it was this dude, he's like, well, he's not in this. He might actually be a paramedic.
he
Let me just
starts
let him
helping him.
go.
He's like, "Oh dang, bro, you all right? Hold on,
Yeah,
let me get you some."
they got you too. Say, what's all this paper? And then Theo's like, well, this is what
So
it is. Argyl's like, I'll drive. Let's get out of here.
hey, so one thing I want to ask you since you brought up Theo and
Mhm.
we're talking about Argyle. So originally, this script, it changed a lot of hands. I
Yeah,
think I heard originally this was made for Frank Sinatra, right?
I heard that too. Yeah. Hmm.
So if this went through and this movie starred Frank Sinatra, is Sammy Davis Argyle or is he Theo? And I have my answer, but I'm curious what you think.
Oh, Mark, that's a great question. That is a great question. Sammy well, sorry. My vote is Argyle. I think
Yes.
Sammy would be Argyle.
Yeah. Now,
And he would kill it. He
well,
would kill it.
he would, but boy, would it'd be hard to watch with today's lens.
Oh yeah.
Argyle would be just typical. I'll just say
Yeah.
he would be so typical. Like, hey boss, hey
Yeah.
man, want some chicken? Like, put that chicken away. I gotta go see my wife. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, yeah,
Hey,
so you're getting married, huh? I have three girlfriends from all different parts of LA. Good for you, trying to
hey,
rekindle that.
hey, put your hands on the wheel there, you crazy Manook.
Yeah, you want a little sip? I got a little. It kind of takes off the edge. It might help you out with your
Hey
missing.
man, you gonna take it easy? Have a little ship of the ship. Like, no, it would be, it'd be wild. It'd be like Argyle, like he throw a watermelon at him at the end.
Yeah, yeah, we're done. It's gonna get dark. But you know who would play Theo, right?
Hmm.
In the Rat Pack, it would be Nutty Professor guy. What's his name?
Oh my God, Clive and yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Oh my God, who is?
Jerry Lewis.
Yes, yes,
It
yeah.
would be
No,
Jerry Lewis.
absolutely. It would absolutely
Jerry
like
Lewis would play
Clive
Theo.
need the codes, Clive. Go gorilla.
Yeah, and
And
it would be good for Jerry Lewis. It'd be good for
yeah,
Jerry Lewis.
yeah. And I assume Dean would be Hans.
I don't think they put Dean as the villain. I think Dean
Dean. Oh, Dean
would
would be
be
Reginald.
Dean would be Carl
He'd be
Winslow.
out.
Oh, what? I mean, his name is Carl Winslow,
Yeah,
but yes, Al. He
he'd
he
be
he
out. Yes.
he'd be the cop. Yeah, that's they wouldn't have Dean be the villain. They'd pick someone ethnic to be the villain.
No, no, well, let's see. If Frank's doing this, what is it? Maybe like the late 60s. I'll just say this, they're Asian. And we can
Yeah,
leave it at that. We can
yeah.
leave it
We
at
can just leave it right
that. And
there.
it's gonna be
And
so
we and
it's gonna be I'll just say this. It's gonna be like Mojo Jojo meets Hong Kong Fooey. And we can leave it at
it,
that. It's gonna be
it
so
probably
bad.
worse. Whatever your imagination is going pop cult, it'll probably be a little bit worse than
It'd
that.
be so
Yeah, it'll
bad.
be
Like,
bad.
oh God.
It'll be bad. It'll be bad. I'm sure the movie would be good.
Let's
The
just say this.
movie would be good. Yeah,
All the L's would be hit with hard R's if it
absolutely.
was made back then.
Absolutely. Like they'll be like cut and they will look at the actor and be like, we need you to go a little bit harder with
A
those R's.
little bit more. Let's
Those
get
L's
them
need to be
R's
a
a little
little
bit
bit harder with
tougher.
those R's.
And he like talks with this. He's like, but I don't feel that I need to.
They're
The
like,
essence of my character. Like, no, you know what we want.
you
You know
know
what
what
we
we
want,
want.
buddy.
You know what we brought you here for. we want you to say, we want you to say limousine like Ricky Ricardo, all right? He better go hard. Oh my
But I went
goodness.
to Juilliard. Yeah, not that kind of film. Not that kind of film.
You want that? Go to China. Like they'll be so bad, man. Oh my goodness.
Uh,
Let's move on. Let's move on. Mark, I think it's time for me to tell you my fan theory.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just
You're still
I'm
there. You're still
sorry.
there.
No,
We gotta
because
move
like
on.
I have the movie on in the background, and it's the part where John writes ho ho ho, and I could just be like row row.
How
You
dare
know
you?
they would do it. You know they would do it.
We're moving on.
They-
We're moving on. Mark, it's time for the most important fan theory in Die Hard. Die Hard is a legendary movie. There's a lot of fan theories about Die Hard, but there's only one fan theory that I'm particularly interested in. Mark, you've never heard me talk about this, and we've been friends for a long time. We may have danced around this topic. We may have even talked a smidgen about it, but I've never given you my full theory, and that is
Sure.
the Carl Winslow theory.
Let's
Mark,
go. Let's go.
here's my Carl Winslow theory.
All right.
Carl started off as a corrections officer in New York, and he
Mhm.
also twilighted as a limo driver
Oh,
in New
that's because
York.
he was in Ghostbusters, right? Okay.
In the early 80s, Carl limo drived in New York, and you know,
Wait,
he was a good limo driver.
is that Crocodile Dundee?
Yes,
Okay.
he went by Gus
Okay.
and drove a hilarious Australian man who had a very big knife, known as Crocodile Dundee. They remained friends, but he enjoyed his life making, stacking coins. The theme of this is Carl stacking coins. All right.
Got you.
So but he also was a corrections officer. He was making his way in law enforcement. And I think he had a passion for justice and law enforcement. And then, as he was locking some crazy people up, claiming that they were ghosts in New York City, the entire city got flooded with ghosts.
He said,
And
no,
then
no more. Not for old Carl. Not-
the mayor told him to release the crazy people. And then 2 hours later, Times Square is flooded with hot
Go-
marshmallows.
And he grabbed Harriet.
And Carl, like any self-respecting
Mm-mm.
black man,
Mm-mm.
saw that and was like, I'm going to move my family all the way to the
Across-
other side of the country.
As
'Cause
far away as we could physically afford, and they landed in LA. I love
why in the world would I stay in New York when there are ghosts? I don't care if this ragtag team got rid of all of them. They exist. I am leaving.
Hey,
So
not only that, Harriet, I heard there's turtles in the sewers. And there's a gang of ninjas. going through Brooklyn, robbing everyone. We're out of here.
Led by a menace named Hiroku Saki. He is not from here. He is one of the greatest villains of all time,
Pack it
and
up,
that is a
Harriet.
subject for another
Pack
podcast.
it all up. We're out of here.
So Mark, he moves to California, and the reason I say California is because you got to remember Carl stacking paper. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so he's doing two jobs at once. In LA, he's working his way up as a cop. And then he also goes to Sacramento every now and then, working his way up to be a cop there too. He eventually, I believe, becomes a detective in Sacramento, helping out a guy named Turner and a dog named Hooch. And the misadventures of this man and his dog made him it made him think about some things.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he was back in LA where he really wanted to grow as a cop, well, Mark, Harriet was pregnant with Eddie,
Mm-hmm.
and he dealt during that time with his wife and his his newborn child. He dealt with multiple life-threatening events with John McClane. All
Yeah.
right. And he was like, you know what,
No.
John, you've been coming
No.
here every other year and chaos ensues. And now I have three kids.
Yeah.
I think it's time for me to move.
He's Martin in Bad Boy. He's like this.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore, John. Like you're
So
a crazy person.
so Carl decides to move to Chicago. Carl and Harriet decide to move to Chicago to live closer to family. Harriet gets herself on the feet and eventually becomes an elevator person for some two very interesting folks who actually don't get the credit that they deserve for late 80s, early 90s television, but that's for another day in Perfect Strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And Carl, like, finally looks at all the money he's accumulated for working multiple jobs all these years and is like, you know what, Harriet? We're gonna buy that house. That house that we talked about, that big old house in that nice neighborhood. We're gonna buy that house. And you know what? My mom's gonna move in with us. And your sister and her kid are gonna move in with us. And we are going to live the dream that we wanted. I didn't spend all these years working multiple jobs, putting my life in danger multiple times with crazy white people for us to not live the blue collar life that we deserve. So, Harriet, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna buy that house. You quit that elevator job, and we're gonna live the American dream. And then, Mark, this story ends with the day they met Steve Urkel, their next
Steve
door
Urkel.
neighbor. And you know the rest of Carl's
There
story. But
there
that is
may
my
not be
Carl
ghosts.
Winslow theory.
There may not be ghosts in Chicago, but there's a Steve Urkel. And Carl he's like, maybe
He
we should go
gave
back to
up.
LA.
Mark, no. Dude, he gave up. He was
He's
like, you know
well,
what? Between Ghost
and John,
and John McClane, I'll take Steve Urkel.
I'll take Steve.
I will take Steve Urkel. I will take the eccentric, weird nerd obsessed with my daughter. I will gladly take that versus the other two. I'm just gonna
Let's do
stay in
it.
the middle.
Dog, I mean, hey,
That's my theory.
dude, hey, it's very, very well done. I've heard like people say like, oh, this is Carl Winslow and blah blah blah, but I've never heard anyone connect all the '80s big ones to this. I never heard from Dundee to the Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, the man wants to see you. Something about ghosts, you know. Like I do love the image of like Carl, after the Stay Puff incident. Carl's like, nope, just nope.
Hell no. We're leaving. We're moving all the way over there. As far
Dude,
away as New York as possible.
dude, I love it. I love the theory and hey, if I squint my eyes hard enough, it clears. It clears,
It clears because that's what happened,
That's
Mark.
what happened.
That is what happened. I am giving you fact. It's a theory, but it's factual.
It's factual, huh?
How you
Yo,
play a cop in 7 different movies? How you play a cop
yo,
consistently? A cop in
he's
7 different movies. Get
he's
out of
like
here.
that dude Hector, who was in like Training Day, and he's Hector in every movie that he's in.
His name is literally Hector in almost all those movies. Yeah,
He's like
man.
him.
That's typecast for real.
Yo, I love Al in this movie. And my theory is if Reginald Van Johnson was just a little bit more in shape, he'd have a bigger role in this movie. But I love Al dog because Al
His role
dog
is this. He's literally holding a
come
megaphone
on,
talking.
John. Hang in there. Yo, two things I want to say about Al real quick. One, when we first see Al and he's at the 7-Eleven or whatever, I don't know what they have in California, Circle K's, whatever,
Hmm.
and he's buying all the treats and he gets judged by the teller. As a fellow big back, like I've had that experience and I hate it. Yo, do your job, dog. Don't worry about what I'm buying, what treats and snacks and delicious edibles I'm buying. Just take the money, shut up, and do your job. Don't judge
Dude was
me, yo.
judging hard. Look at you.
Yo,
Look at
don't
you.
judge. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been judged by the things you bought at like a
Oh,
7-Eleven?
absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
heartbreaking.
It
It's
is.
it's
It
like, dog,
is.
I know I'm in 7-Eleven at 3 in the morning buying donuts and
But
cakes and
but Mark, here this is why it's bad. The things they see.
oh
These
yeah.
folks
Yeah,
work at
yes.
7-Eleven. They have seen a lot. And they're judging me.
Dog, yes.
Like
That's the
how
problem.
bad is what
That's
I'm
the
doing right
problem.
now?
I know what you see. You're working the 7-Eleven late shift. I know what you experience. And the
Yes.
fact that you have to comment on what I'm purchasing as a citizen with my hard-earned money, it rips me apart inside. It
Like
just breaks my heart.
either I'm at a low point or that person's an asshole through and through. And either way, I don't want that energy. I don't want that
Yo,
energy
don't.
right now.
Hey,
You
just
know what I'm
take the money,
saying?
dog. Take the money. I'll be on my way. And then you can talk about me all you want when I'm going like, man, did you see that fat ass? He came in here with bubblicious
Well,
cookie.
When you're driving away and you look at your passenger side seat to see all the stuff you got, I don't know about you, but I'm like, it wasn't that
It
bad.
was
Like I could have gone worse. I'm actually like, you know what? This is
dog.
gonna be okay
Don't
for
be
now.
talking about what I'm buying, man.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
like
And then you
just
start to look like, what was the thing that put
and
him
then
over edge?
And then you
What
know what
was
the
the
thing
thing?
is worse? The person before you, is objectively worse. And
Mm,
let me get some Newports. And then they got like 340s, and they're buying like hot chips and gum and condoms
hmm
and like the old like let me get the old chicken tenders. And it's like they're the problem.
They're
They're
the
the
problem.
problem.
They're the problem. Just because I'm getting a Slurpee and a cheeseburger, hot dog, and two Lay's chips
Candy,
and a
can
Hostess
you put the candy on sale. You said two Hershey candy bars were for $1. Don't
and
blame me.
and Black and Mild Wood tips. That's all I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? Let me live.
Let me live,
Let
dog.
me
Let me
live.
live. Let me
This car don't
live.
work.
And what, and then the ice on the cake is when you're about to leave, you're like, oh man, those cookies are 3 for $1. And he's like, yeah, yeah, get them, you fat, you fat bastard, get the cookie.
Still get them.
And you know what the worst part is? They're fatter than you. They're
Yes.
fatter than
Yes.
you, and then they still got something like,
Yes. And
ugh.
that dude was as big as Carl in the
Yeah.
movie. He was
Like,
just like,
shut up, man. Leave
like,
me
dude,
alone.
come
And
on,
I'm a
dude.
cop. Leave me alone.
Come
But
on, dude. No,
so
but you know,
sorry.
but in all honesty, I more so thought he was judging him as a cop. Like the dude clearly just didn't like cops. I don't
Okay,
think it
okay.
was him just running on Carl's bigness. That being said, I've gone through what you've gone through. That
Yo,
it's
man, like
the judgment hurts. It
it's
hurts really bad.
heartbreaking.
Yes.
It's like your girl leaving you and then being judged by the 7-Eleven guy. It's like it's heartbreaking. But
You know
then
what? And I'm sure everyone in the pop culture has experienced this,
oh, at least
right?
once. At least
Everyone.
once.
Like, this is back in the day. Right now, you can do scan pay. No one got to see
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm saying? You could do DoorDash or whatever. But nah, I'm talking about 1:30 in the morning, and you like, I need something before I
Hey,
go home.
the worst is when they're scanning the stuff, but they're not breaking eye contact with you. So like, doop doop, busy night, huh? Doop. You just
If you don't bag up my
yo, leave me
my
alone, dog.
treats, if you don't bag up my treats and leave me alone.
And he's like, they're like, anything else? You're like, yeah, let me get a great white owl. Like, yeah, okay, here you go.
There you go. There you go.
There
Let
you go.
me
You
get some
happy?
let me get some Virginia Slims real quick.
Yeah,
Hey,
okay. You up here? Okay, okay.
there you go. There you go.
Oh man. But
Terrible.
then, and then I love Al because Al at the end of the day, Al was still a brother.
Hmm.
Because Al goes to Nakatomi Plaza. He's like, hey, you got a fire alarm, whatever, done some experience. What's going on? Let me look around. And the guy's like, yeah, look around. By the way, I love the like commitment to the bit by these I guess terrorists, whatever. The guy's
Hmm.
like, oh, I got $50 of Notre Dame.
I
Hey, oh,
believed
what's
him.
going on here?
I believed
Love it.
him. I was
I
like,
love the commitment to the
man,
bit.
they're good. Yo,
Yeah.
when Hans said they're professionals, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm no, excuse me. He's like, I'm no common thief. I am
Yeah.
a professional. I was like,
I'm a
yes, you are,
professional.
Hans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the accent change. I was like, yo, y'all are really good at your job.
But then, so Al's like, "You mind if I look around?" And you're like, "Yeah, help yourself." And so Al's like going down the hallway, and he starts looking around. And Al's like, "The hell with this!" Like, I'm not. Even if there is something going down, I ain't going in there.
Like, dog, that dark alley over there?
He's like,
Nah, and that
nah.
dude clearly is not doing his job.
Yeah,
There was a
yeah.
fire alarm. There's some people on the radio. Like he's a terrible security guard. I'm done. I'm going home. I got
Nah,
all
it's
those
great.
treats in the car.
I got all them Twinkies in the car waiting for
You
me.
know what I'm
Nah, I'm
saying?
good.
Nah, I'm leaving. Hmm.
Oh man, good old Al, man. But no, Reginald Vell Johnson did his thing in this movie. He's a great companion to John McClane.
Yeah, man. And Mark, why is this movie so good? Like, I'm curious. We've talked about it before, but I'm just curious on your end.
I,
Why is this
I
movie so? Because this movie has everything, Mark. Like, I'm talking. I'll just quickly name some of the stuff. Like, there's one-liners galore,
yeah,
right? There's great acting. Like, it's an action movie, but like
yeah,
everybody does their job.
yeah. And
Everybody,
I,
even the
I,
reporter, the reporter
yes,
sleeves guy from
yeah,
Ghostbusters.
Dickless.
Yes, even he did his job. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He was on
dude.
screen for what, 5 minutes? And in those 5 minutes, perfect jerk. He was an
I,
amazing jerk. But anyways,
I
why?
think
Why?
to answer your question, it's a couple reasons, right? I think one, it's well directed. It is a
Yeah.
superbly directed movie. There's so many little things in here that they didn't have to do. One, Holly's office, right? Gennaro is spelled wrong. And so it's like, and it gives this backstory. It's like, oh, it was spelled wrong, but she didn't have them correct it because maybe she wants to go back to being McLean and like just like I said, the lighting and everything. But everyone came to play this movie. Like there's not a bad character in this movie. They're just characters that have bigger roles than others.
Yeah.
From from John to Al, Hans, the agent Johnson and Johnson. These are all
Okay.
great characters, dog. All of them.
Johnson's great.
Holly's a great character. She's
Yeah,
great.
she
Um,
is.
you know, and it's like everyone came to like play. Everyone's taking it seriously, but everyone knows what kind of movie they're in.
Yeah.
Also,
They stick to they know their roles and they kill it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? This is like this is it's like the Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone does their job, they know
yeah.
their role and they do it very well. So like,
You, you
it's
know, you
amazing.
know what's funny? So one of the reasons why Al and even Argyle have bigger scenes in this movie, I heard, is because Bruce was still doing his TV show while filming this. So to like pad it out, they had to give everyone else more to do.
Wow.
And it just worked
Wow.
out. It just worked out. But also, I think why this movie
Fascinating.
is amazing is because it like subverts a lot of tropes and it does things differently. Like we said, John is not an action star. He's just a
Hmm.
dude. The first person he kills, it's on accident.
They
You
fall
know,
down the stairs.
they fall down the stairs, and John lucked out. When John jumps in the elevator shaft, he misses. Oh, he misses. it's like it just does all these things
Mark,
that like
the only thing extraordinary about John is his luck.
his luck. He's the
He
luckiest
is
man
a
alive.
lucky son of a gun. You know what I'm saying? He should have died 3 times at least, maybe
Yeah,
more. Like it literally, he's literally, it's hard for him to die. Like that
yeah.
man is lucky. You know what I'm
And
saying?
there's so much, dog. We talked about the watch. There's so much subtext and just like like good directing that didn't need to be done for an action movie of this caliber, right?
Mm-mm.
So Hans and Ellis, they are like the same character. They
Yeah.
look the same. They both are antagonists to John, but just in different environments. And
Hmm.
then shout out to Cinema Wins. The scene where Ellis is like he's trying to tell Hans like, "Hey, I know John and I'll get him for you. Hey, Hans, booby." You know, it's actually filmed like John is in the room. So it's like when Hans talks, you see hit the camera's on him, and then Ellis talks, and the way John is framed, it's almost like John is over Ellis's shoulder,
Yeah.
being like, it's like, yo, it's like they didn't have to do any of that. It's amazing.
Yes, man. I didn't even think of that. Like,
Dog,
yeah.
I've seen this movie's what, 40 years old? Almost? Like I didn't think of any of this when I
Yeah, it's
first
close to
like
four.
watched this
It's like
movie.
30 something. Yeah, man. Wow. It's like that is yeah. wh- I maybe because they were trying to make this movie for so many years that like the script just got made to perfection, or maybe this director, who again did make The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah,
So we've
and
seen
Predator.
him and
One
Predator.
one of the let's call spade a spade. One of the best sci-fi action or just sci-fi movies ever made.
It's in the
One of
top five.
Arnold's dog.
It
One of Arnold's best movies,
it's one of
and
Arnold's best
T2
movies.
is one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, and it's one of Arnold's best movies. I can
Yeah.
say that unapologetically with my whole chest. Predator is one of Arnold's and True Lies is my favorite James Cameron movie. You know what I'm saying? And he's done a couple of James Cameron movies, and without a doubt, Predator is one of the best
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, man. So like maybe it's the director. I don't know, but like it's a great movie, man.
And
Yeah, it's. I feel
sometimes
like the
it,
older you get, the more you notice
yeah.
and Die Hard too. Every time I watch Die Hard now, I find a new like Argyle was what I appreciated this time. I
Yes.
was just
Yeah.
like, man, Argyle, like every like 30 minutes, they go to Argyle, and in those 30 seconds, I'm like, that's great. Please
Yeah.
keep checking. They keep me invested in Argyle the
Hey,
entire movie.
shout out to the 80s where all you had to do was be in a limo playing music and you had a ball, dog.
That man was just sitting in a limo for
Talking to his
three
friends on the
hours
phone. Just
having alone, having the time of it. Mark, he had a great night. He
a ball, dog.
if there was no terrorist threat and Nakatomi Plaza wasn't taking over, he would have went home that night like, yo, I had the best night I've had
Yeah,
in a
yo, I
long
had a
time.
ball, dog.
What'd
Yo,
you do? I sat in a limo and listened to music with a
and
giant teddy bear.
and then like, dang, dog, and Nakatomi, you was at Nakatomi Play.
Doing Nakatomi Plaza? Yeah,
Yo,
man.
I
I
heard
was
they
in the
got
parking
crunch
lot.
bars up in there, dog.
They do, man. They do.
Yeah, they got crunch bars up in there. Tastes like candy.
They was having a ball, man.
And then I don't remember where I heard this, but try to follow me here. I'm gonna try to like
Okay.
frame this the best way I can without messing it up. John is actually Han's antagonist. So if you look at this movie from Han's POV, this is a classic heist movie, right?
Mhm.
Where they had a plan, they're gonna do this, but John is the antagonist of the heist.
Wow. If you look at this as a heist movie, then Hans is the charismatic brain of the
He's the
operations.
George Clooney.
He's George Clooney. Yeah.
He's the George Clooney.
Yeah.
And
And
they were going to rob the casino, and all of a sudden this crazy psychopath
cop
comes in.
that, and you're just like, what is up with it? And Hans the whole time is trying to figure out what is up with this guy. And he
Yeah,
finally finds out. Oh, it's the ladies in charge's demented husband, a strange husband. All
So,
right. Well, I could still make this work. In the entire
yeah.
movie, he still makes it work.
Yo, exact like John isn't his focus. He's like, look, just get rid of him. Like if John would just go and just hide, Hans is like, yo, we could do the heist, but John keeps putting himself in to positions
Mhm.
to ruin the heist. The goal is the heist. He doesn't care about John. He doesn't even care about him.
Mhm.
He just wants to finish the heist. And I was like, I never saw it like that. Yeah, John is the antagonist of this movie, but he is the protagonist of
Mm.
the night.
That is very true. This would be a great heist movie.
It
Nakatomi
would.
Plaza. I mean, it was a great dog. That's another category. This is a heist
It's
movie.
a heist
This,
movie.
sheesh, and it's a good one. The I think another reason this movie is so good is Mark, the death scenes
Oh,
are
oh,
some of the most
bruh.
epic, like redone. Like, how many times have you seen each of these death scenes done again? Family Guy alone has done every single Die Hard death scene at least twice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The
I've
the
seen,
Hans
yes,
falling is iconic. We
it
mentioned it.
might, Mark,
They did
it
it
might
in
be one of the most iconic action movie
yeah,
death scenes.
yeah. It
It
might
might be
yeah.
number one.
Like I'm trying to
Well,
think
it's
of
up
like
there.
action movie death scenes that are iconic. And I mean the only thing I'm getting in my mind right now, oh, diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's up there. That's up
And
there.
dog, the 80s got a lot of those.
Yeah.
The 80s and the early 90s, there's a lot of one-liner
There's a
death
lot of
scenes.
them.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
forgot
dude.
your boarding pass. Oh,
You
bro.
got your board.
There's a good
Speak.
amount of the,
I'm smarter than you, Jack. Head comes off. Yeah. Well, I'm taller.
ah, ah. Man,
they
there's a
they
lot of
knew.
we can stay here all day, do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Some good ones.
And and I think it's just, it's just I don't know how to explain this, man, but like 80s and 90s action movies just had this energy about them where it's just like I don't know. Let me see if I can try to translate this. Nels, you remember like nights or like when you were a kid and somehow just like the neighborhood kind of somehow it wasn't a special occasion, the neighborhood got together and just everyone ended up being all night just kind of like talking and
Hmm.
shooting the just talking and it just felt like a fun night.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like 80s and 90s action movies just capture that energy where we're all just like, yeah, we're all just hanging out and it's just a lot of fun. And I don't, I know I'm doing a bad job of trying to translate it, but it's just something about that communal gathering that's just captured by these movies.
Yeah, it's called No Cell Phones. That's
Bruh,
that's that's what it is. It's
that's it.
called No Cell
That's
Phones.
it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way that I can remember No Cell Phones is anything that relates to Blockbuster. I remember folks just hung out at Blockbuster.
Yes. Yeah.
People didn't even really know each other, and they would just talk about
Yeah.
Blockbusters. It's like a comic book store on crack.
Yeah.
It's like everyone comes in and talks about movies, talks about pop culture. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the folks who worked at Blockbuster were savants. It's kind of like how we treat Apple, what they call geniuses.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were
They
the
had to be.
geniuses of pop culture.
They
They
had
knew
to be.
everything about movies.
Yeah.
Everything. They would sit in the Blockbuster store and watch movies all day long.
Yep.
And they could talk about any movie. Oh, you're looking for a rom-com? This one's really good.
Yeah.
You can pick, oh,
Yes.
have you seen this? Oh yeah, I've seen that. If you really like this one, here's the
They
next one you should watch.
they were the barbers of pop culture.
Yes.
You know how like barbers just savants and know every like they were the barbers of pop culture. You go in, yeah,
Mark, there was a line in checking out because people were constantly talking about the movie they were about to watch. You pick like three, four movies, and the blockbuster person will be like, yeah, this one's really good. I would watch this at night. You should probably get some snacks with that. Like, for each
Bruh.
movie. That's why there was a line at Blockbuster all the
I
time.
remember like at one point in my life we lived next to a Blockbuster. I remember just walking in there to watch movies because they had them playing. I was
They
like, I
had them
wonder what's
playing.
on at Blockbuster. And I would just sit there 15, 20 minutes and just watch a movie. That, you know how they had the two TVs hanging from the ceiling? Like
Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
that's it, man. No cell
And
phones.
they took it from us.
They
They
took it
took
from
that from us.
Yo,
Dirty. It's Redbox's fault. I won't even
but
put it all on Netflix.
they
Redbox, you ain't even
started.
go inside the doors. He just be out there like a commoner.
Man, hey, I don't like to be like a like back in my day type of person, but man, dude, like what a time. Like there was nothing like going to a Blockbuster and like get you a movie or like going with your friends, like oh I'm gonna spend the night at your house and it's like, your mom's taking us to Blockbuster. Oh my God.
And
Like
Pizza Hut pizza.
pizza. Oh, the Pizza Hut pizza ain't never. We look. We go on a tangent. Pop cult. If y'all too young to know, Pizza Hut. I know it sounds crazy. Pizza Hut pizza used to be an award. You used to get Pizza Hut pizza for winning championships,
Yes,
for getting straight A's,
yes.
for just doing something good in your community. It used to be a gift given to you like y'all don't understand.
Mark, Pizza Hut pizza was so good, you ate it at the
You
restaurant.
stayed there and ate it.
You ate it there. You did
You
not
got
take the pizza home.
you
You
got your
didn't get
big
it delivered.
pitcher, your
It's like
big brown pitcher,
it's
your
like
red
you
cup.
won the Little League. We are going to
We're
Pizza
going to
Hut.
Pizza Hut. We're not ordering
We're
Pizza Hut. We're
sitting there and we're
going.
eating there in those red cups.
And
That's how good Pizza
those
Hut was.
green glass overhanging
Yes.
lights.
Yes, bruh. Yes, bruh. That's
and
how
and
good
and
Pizza Hut was.
And you know what? As a kid, who wants salad? But you know what? Pizza Hut got a salad bar. I'm going to the salad bar.
It's like if you were telling somebody you're getting Pizza Hut to go, it's the same as like you're taking Red Lobster to go. Like, why? Why even come? What are you that
It
rich?
y'all
You're just
don't
coming
know,
there
man.
to take that to go for dinner? Like,
Pizza
why would you
Hut
do
was
that?
a gift. It
Yeah,
was a
bro.
gift. I wouldn't be
Mm.
surprised if back in the 90s, Pizza Hut was only like busy Friday and Saturday nights because it's like, where do y'all want to go? Nowadays, kids like, I don't know what kids want to go like Cheesecake Factory. I don't
Hmm.
know, Chipotle. And you couldn't even ask her to go to Pizza Hut. You had
How
to
dare
earn to
the
go to Pizza Hut.
audacity?
You
The
had to earn
audacity?
Pizza Hut back in the day, dog.
Dog, you Pizza Hut was a blessing. How dare you ask for we look, Mark, maybe other people may have lived differently than we did. There could have been some folks who had that much audacity or
To
whose
ask.
families was in that good of a financial place that they would ask for Pizza Hut. That had to be the case, Mark. We just weren't living that life. Cause us, I'll be damned if I
What do you
ever requested Pizza Hut. Get out of here.
You got a C on your spelling test, and you got the nerve to ask for Pizza Hut? Wait till your father gets home.
You will never see Pizza Hut. All right. I will
Bro,
I will speed up when we drive by Pizza Hut. Don't even
here's
look out the window.
here's
Nah,
how
man.
you knew Pizza Hut was the jam back in the day. They had they had three things for kids to do. You either played Pac-Man
Yes.
or
Or
Space
Space
Invaders,
Invaders. Space Invaders.
Space
Yeah.
Invaders
Yeah.
slash Centipede,
Yes.
or you played with the cigarette vending machine.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Those are your only choices as a kid back in the
And
day.
shout out to the Pizza Hut down Exo Road that no longer exists in Alexandria, Virginia, but there did have a pinball machine. And it was one of the
Whoa,
last, yeah, yeah,
whoa.
yeah. It was one of the last Pizza Huts with the pinball machine, and I played that sucker out.
Oh,
My mom worked at the Denny's right next. Folks at Alexandria know the exact Pizza Hut I'm talking about because like 7 elementary schools, the bucket challenge, that was our Pizza Hut. So we went there, and my mom worked at the Denny's right next door. She gave me a quarter every time she gave me a quarter from one of her tips. Went to that pinball machine. Shout out to Pizza Hut. This
Dog.
podcast is about Die Hard,
And
and
but that's
we
how important Pizza Hut used to. The Ninja Turtles used to dine on Pizza Hut. Like
I think they dined
dog.
on Domino's.
There might have been
I think it was
Domino's, but
Domino's. I
dog,
think it was Domino's.
you
But I
remember
hear
the
you.
Pizza Hut Land Before Time puppets?
Yes, I do, Mark.
I had
Yes, I
Littlefoot.
do.
I loved that Littlefoot
Oh,
with all my heart.
I think I
It
had
was a
Littlefoot
rubber
too.
little Littlefoot puppet, and I that was my best friend.
I think I had Littlefoot too. Man, sheesh. Lord have
Gosh.
mercy. Mark, my last thing about Pizza Hut, and we can move on. My last thing. Do you know how many books I read, Mark?
Oh,
I have a college degree because of Pizza Hut. I don't know my level of literacy. I don't know how well I was as a student before the Book It challenge, but I can tell you for a fact, Mark, that Mark, I was being tested for special education around fourth, fifth grade. Seventh grade, I was putting no, sixth grade, I was putting gifted and talented classes.
because Pizza Hut.
I'm not
Not on
saying
my
Pizza
watch.
Hut. I'm
Not
not
on my
saying Pizza
watch.
Hut and Book It led that change, but it didn't hurt, Mark. It
Mm,
didn't hurt. You know what I'm saying?
bruh.
That's all I wanted to say.
This and to add on that, so many of us millennials have college degrees because of pizza establishments. Because you remember at Chuck E. Cheese, if you brought your report card in, and for like every A
Oh,
you would
bruh.
get
Every A
like
you get like 5 tokens, something like that, man.
you get a token. Dog, hey, I was like, Dad, report
And
card.
if you play your cards right, Mark, depending on your straight A's, you can go to Pizza Hut that Friday and that Saturday, take your report card to Chuck E. Cheese and have a great
And
weekend.
have a
And you
ball,
might
dog.
even get Blockbuster. You might even
Woo,
get Blockbuster.
man,
Come on, bro.
what a time to be alive, dog.
I'm talking crazy right now, yo.
Talk about Pizza Hut for 15 minutes. Hey, and now I wouldn't give my kids Pizza Hut if I was just feeling lazy. I'm like, no,
No,
I'm better than that. Your father's better than
I'll
that.
make you a sandwich.
I know, no children, daddy, father will make you some. Don't eat that
I'll make you a
pizza.
sandwich. Ew.
Get it out of here. Pizza Hut shows up at your door. What are you doing here? Get out of here. Don't you ever come back here.
I wouldn't even feed it to my kids.
Every Everyone in the neighborhood's
Oh
moving them
my
out of town. Hey, what's going on? That guy's trying to give kids Pizza Hut. Oh yeah, you son of a shaking his car as he's trying to get out.
goodness.
I'm sorry, I have the wrong neighborhood. Get the hell out of this
To be
neighborhood.
exhausted from a 12-hour shift. And I'll be like, no, I'm gonna make you a sandwich.
I
You will not eat Pizza Hut pizza.
I am your father. No, Dad, it's okay. Put it
No,
down.
no,
Put it down.
can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't look myself in the mirror. Mark,
Oh,
we learned how to read because of this pizza. Now we want two different for our kids to eat it.
oh. I'd rather give my kids cheese and crackers than pizza.
I'm so ashamed of us. I'm
Oh,
so ashamed. That pizza did so much for us. And now we
oh,
look at it like trash. Oh my goodness. Oh man.
oh my gosh.
Hey. Any last things about Die Hard, Mark? Oh,
Hey, well, yo, just a couple quick things, right? So,
okay.
yo, you talk about the death scenes, bruh.
Yes.
I don't know why. Maybe I like mentally blocked this. The death scene where they kill, is it Tagaki?
Yeah. The person
The
who runs
owner of
Nakatomi.
Nakatomi? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh. What the 80s, dog? We were squibbing it up in the 80s. Like, I was like, yo, did I accidentally turn on RoboCop? Like what?
Violence was just it was a different beast back then. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like,
Dog, every punch in Mortal Kombat, blood shot out of a character. We were we, that's why Gen X is jacked up. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
That is all they consumed. You know what I'm saying? At least we got a palate cleanser. You know what I'm saying? They
Dude.
lived off RoboCop. Goodness gracious, man.
Um, and then dog, we gotta talk real quick. We gotta talk a couple things. The glass in John's feet,
Yeah.
like,
We never really saw anything like that in an action movie before. Like
yeah, you
someone
never
will be
saw
in
your,
pain, but they'll be like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah. Oh,
they'll
it's
like
just a flesh
cauterize the
wound.
wound and be
Exactly.
like, keep it moving. Like not that man was limping the rest of the
Ah,
rest of the movie.
and then I don't know, Pop Cult. I don't know if any of y'all ever stepped on glass. Like I remember as a child, I still like bruh, I still have like glass PTSD because I stepped on. There was some broken glass. I can't remember. I was young. There was broken glass in the house, and I walked in the room. My foot got tore up, and I remember taking like a big piece of glass out of my foot, and like bro, when glass breaks, I I run to shoes. And then for like a month, I can't go in that room without shoes on.
Mark, Mark, if you ever step on glass, it makes you immediately never want to step on glass again.
Never.
Folks who step on glass never step on glass again. House shoes are a thing.
Because
Shoes
people
to
step
wear
on
around the
glass.
house. Think
because
about the
glass
logic of
because
house shoes,
glass
bro.
exists.
Mark, think about the logic of house shoes. Shoes were made because you were walking
For out
outside.
there for the elements.
You take shoes off when you come inside the house. House shoes were made because of glass, Mark. Let me hip you on game. So yes, I agree and completely understand. And John Jess, he still saved the day with the
Bruh.
jacked up feet.
Yeah, and dude, and then I love yo, shout out, we haven't talked about him, but Alan Rickman, like he is like
Hans Gruber is one of the greatest villains of all
one of the
time.
greatest, dude.
Alan
Just
Rickman is phenomenal in everything he
yes.
does. Everything
Yes.
he does. But
Han's
yeah,
such a
he's
great character.
so
He's
good,
just
man. He's a
he's
Bond
smart.
villain.
Oh, he's a you know what's great? You know what I was realizing watching it this time? You know, like Joker and Batman are the opposite of a coin. So are
Mhm.
Hans and John. Like they are both smart in their own right, and like Hans probably isn't like a super genius, but he is a smart individual. And
Yeah.
like even the moment where he sees John and he starts nah his terrible American accent, but like no, you're one of them. It's like that's genius. Yeah, like
Mhm.
act like, and then
His accent
he's
was terrible, by the
it was
way.
bad. It
It
was
was
like oh
terrible. I was like, Alan, you're a really good actor. You can do an
no.
American accent. I know you can do an American accent. What the hell was that?
And then Hans taking a name that was on the board, like
That was good.
it's
That
just
was
so
really
good,
good.
man.
Hmm. And and Mark, I'll say this. We didn't talk much about the other Die Hard movies. In my opinion, they're all really good. I know like folks have opinions about the last one or two,
Well, we can.
and I don't know. We ain't. That's for another day. For another day. But they're all really good in their own way.
Yeah,
But nothing was
yeah.
like Hans
None of them have a
and
Hans. I'll give you
yeah,
that. Yeah,
Hans and John in that dynamic.
yeah.
Nothing was like
Yeah,
some. I could see where they were trying to go with it. And like I would even argue Sam Jackson and John is
yeah.
probably like the best
We
like
don't have to
duo.
go into it. The closest like John and Hans relationship we might get in the sequels is part three.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
that might be
yeah.
the closest one, but it's not. It
But it's
the
not because it's not, because
if
Hans,
if Die Hard was a comic book, Hans would be John's arch nemesis.
yes,
Like Hans would
yes,
come back constantly if this was a comic book, because just like the dynamic between them, like I said, they're the opposite side of the coin. John is a blue collar Hans, and Hans is a well upbred, high society John.
Mark. If Hans went to jail instead of like fell off that roof, there would be 15 diehards. they would make a Die Hard every year.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Or they would have made this a TV show. Like I don't know what, but if Hans didn't die, we would have gotten a lot more Hans
He
and
be
John McCain.
he be Claw. I'll get you next time, Gadget. You like it just
Yes.
next week. Listen, what do you got planned next week, Hans? Like
He'd be Megatron. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
Oh yeah,
yes.
yeah. Megatron.
I'm just
Dude.
saying.
So two little things before we wrap up. Bruh, I love Hans's reaction when at the end when John comes out, Hans, and John is just torn up, and the look, Alan Rickman's such a great actor. The look on Hans's face, he's like, "Oh snap, I am the villain." Like he's just like, "I'm the bad guy."
Who's up?
Look what I've
Like,
done
all
to
right.
this man.
Like he's like, ugh.
Oh my God. He's like, why don't you just die? He's like, dude, if you just like chill, I'll be on my way with my money. Like, I'll be out of here.
He's like, you. He's like, did we do that to you?
We do that to you. Is this what I'm doing to people? Is this what I'm doing?
Like this
Guys,
is
wait a
your
minute.
fault, dude. Like this can't all be on me. This is on you. This is your fault. All my other kills are swift and clean. You know what
Bruh,
I'm saying?
you
Like,
know what? You know what John looks like at the end of this movie? You ever like moved your refrigerator and like swept the stuff that's underneath it? Like just like that black mess. You don't know what it is. You don't want to touch it. You're just like, what? How? This is in my house? Like,
I know exactly what you're talking about, and you are 100% correct.
just
And in their defense, this man was crawling through the air duct of Nakatomi Plaza. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's 30 something like like floors of the Nakatomi Plaza, and he was just crawling through it.
yeah.
So fair enough. Fair enough. All
And
right,
then,
brother. Anything else, man,
oh,
before
no,
we
I
wrap
just
up?
one last thing. It's a two-parter, but it's one last thing because I want to get your
Okay.
take on this. So, the movie ends, right? So the movie actually doesn't end until Al gets his kill. And I'm like, yo, like if this movie was made today, it'd be very different. Because the movie basically ends like, yeah, that the cop got his will to
Learn to
kill
shoot
back.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he learned to shoot again.
Yeah. Now he's a
Like
valuable cop again because he
now
can
he can
shoot and
contribute to
kill.
society because he can shoot and kill people, right?
Yes.
So
You're
so
not good as a cop unless you can shoot and kill
like
somebody.
look at this guy. He's so pathetic. He killed a kid and now he doesn't want to be a cop anymore. Oh God. And there it is.
Pathetic.
He can kill again. Let's way to go, Al, right? So
Fantastic.
so Al kills that guy, right?
Mm.
And I never noticed this until now. So then Argyle busts through like the gate or whatever in his limo, and Al like picks his gun up again, like he's like, I've unleashed the beast. I gotta kill again. And John's like, no, no, no. He's like, yo, no, 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 no. Work yourself up to it. He's like, work yourself up to it, Al. Like you ain't.
I didn't realize that. John, I didn't realize John's like, calm down. No, no,
He's
he
like,
was
yo,
like,
yo,
it's
yo.
gonna be, but John's like, all right, we done let the beast loose.
All right, man. That's enough tonight. He's like, you gotta work. He's like, I know I killed about a dozen people tonight, but you gotta work yourself up to me, Al. Okay. And I was like, he's shook. And he's like, oh, he's with you. You don't no
Cause I'm
killing.
ready.
I don't
Cause I'm ready.
I don't. You don't kill. You don't kill tonight.
Yes. Yes.
Al,
Oh my
Al,
goodness. Yes.
Al was like,
I
hey.
was ready, yo.
Al turned it on and he couldn't turn it off.
Dog, that's why he moved to Chicago. He was just like, yo, I can't put myself back in this situation again. I had
You
just, you know what I'm
you
saying?
sure,
Like, I got
John?
kids.
John, you like kill him, John?
That's why he moved to Chicago, man. Oh my goodness.
And I never noticed that, but John's like, yo, dog, chill, 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 chill. It's cool, it's cool.
With a smile on his face. Because he's like, hey, the
Hey,
animal,
hey,
he's
oh,
back.
oh.
He's
You
been
got him.
calm down now.
You got
All
him.
right.
You got him. You got him, big guy. You got. We'll work our way up to it. Don't worry. You'll before you know, you'll be killing dozens of people a night like me.
Yeah.
But let's woo.
Oh
Uh,
God, Mark. Oh my God. Okay, man. Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Pop Cult. Thank you for listening. We have a new episode every month. You can find us on all social media at Pop Cult Parent, POPCULTPARENT. Visit us at www.popcultparent.com. Become a member of the Pop Cults at our Patreon, patreon.com/Pop Cult Parent, where you can see our full video episodes. Email us at popcultparent@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate us, review, and subscribe. And as always, join the cult. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, oh, oh.